moving on, Caitlin Clark was in the news this week. I believe it was Tuesday night this past week when they played the Sun.
Now you
There
say
was
Caitlin Clark. I'm just going to stop you. You say Caitlin Clark was in the news, but all I saw was Sophie Cunningham in the news. I'm just letting you know.
it started with Caitlin. It
Sure.
started with Caitlin. So this was yes on Tuesday. They played the Connecticut Sun in Indiana, which, by the way, I shared with you. Let me find that exact number here. That night, on Tuesday night, the Fever had 16,284 in attendance. In Thursday night's Game 6 of the NBA Finals, there was 17,274.
Fucking
So
crazy.
only, I mean, and I say only, but only about 1,000 difference.
It really is only 1,000. I mean, I know 1,000 people. You said it might be a lot, but for an NBA Finals game, yeah, that isn't that much.
Yeah. So to paint the picture in your head of how big Caitlin Clark really is. I mean, we're damn near putting more butts in seats for her game than we are in NBA Finals, which I don't know if that says more about Caitlin Clark or says less about this NBA Finals.
Both, probably.
So in that game, her, and when I say her, Caitlin Clark and JC Sheldon kind of got into a scuffle. Now, these two played in the Big Ten against each other. Caitlin Clark at Iowa, JC Sheldon at Ohio State. So they're familiar with each other. It started with JC just, kind of just trying to be a nuisance to her. It ended with, her poking Caitlin in the eye, which led to one of the other Connecticut Sun players coming over and knocking Caitlin Clark down because Caitlin, obviously retaliated to being hit in the eye, which, as you alluded to, led to, in the fourth quarter with about 40 seconds left, Sophie Cunningham absolutely tackling JC Sheldon.
And I loved it. I loved every second of that.
Here's the thing, and people have been, on the fence both ways about it.
There's one. This is one.
This is basketball. Like, this is the basketball this is the type of basketball that like me and you grew up playing. It's
I still do that.
We kind of got stuck in the era of like the transition of that style of play and then this new, the way that we play now. But that's how we started. But an enforcer, that's what they brought Sophie Cunningham in to do, was to be an enforcer. Like, they saw last year that I believe the number was like 17% of all like flagrant fouls or hard fouls in the WNBA last year were against Caitlin Clark. And they saw that. They brought in a new coach. This new coach saw that and said, "Nope, we're not doing that." So they went and signed Sophie Cunningham to be this enforcer. And for those of you that don't know, Sophie Cunningham is the youngest black belt in the state of Missouri history. She black belt on Taekwondo at 6 years old. Okay. So they brought her in to be an enforcer. And regardless of at what point of the game, because Sophie doesn't really play a whole lot, she kind of plays sparingly. So when she did get in, that she made sure that I'm going to send I'm 100. If you were to sit down and ask her why she did that, she 100% would probably tell you. And I'm guessing, but I'm sending a message. You're not going to do that to my star, to my teammate.
Yeah, this is just boils down to her being a good teammate.
And so everybody that has an issue with her doing stuff like that, sorry, that's how I grew up playing basketball. You do something. I mean, it's the same thing. You do the same thing with, baseball, football. Baseball. If it's almost a guarantee in baseball. You get hit by a pitch, the next inning somebody else is getting hit by a pitch too, because you're not going to do that. So this is sports. Everybody gets riled up. Everybody gets competitive. And when stuff like this happens, when you go at somebody's teammate, there is a reaction to that. And that was Sophie's reaction was just tackle her.
Her eyes lit up when she was able to get that
chance. She saw the opportunity.
She's like, "Oh baby, give me this.
Here we go.
I'm just gonna grab her."
And listen, Caitlyn responds by her. First of all, let's backtrack. Caitlyn does ag on to be poked at.
Well, absolutely.
No, there's nothing.
She's a shit talker. She runs
gonna
her
talk
mouth.
shit. She's cocky. She
Yeah.
brings it upon herself, but she also backs it up. Because after they did all this, when JC poked her in the eye and everything, and they had that huge scuffle, they had Caitlyn got up and hit her 3 free throws after they gave it a flagrant, I believe. She got her free throws off of it. She hit 3 free throws. And then right afterwards, when the Fever got the ball, turned around and hit a deep 3, which she then proceeded to turn around and, do the whole hype the crowd up and love it. Absolutely. It injected in my veins.
Yeah,
I love it.
That is peak basketball for me.
Yes, that is what I want basketball to be. And here's the thing. If you look at the crowd when Sophie, tackled her, there was no, everybody was into it. They were like,
yeah,
yes. Like, this is what basketball is. And this simple, stupid stuff like that is why people don't watch the NBA, because you don't see that a whole lot. You don't see enforcers anymore, because nobody wants to catch a fine. Nobody wants to, nobody wants to get ejected. Nobody wants to lose money. So you don't see it as much as you used to. But, beforehand, the NBA did this. When Jordan was coming in, Jordan was getting beat up by the Detroit Pistons. They went out and signed Charles Oakley, and that was their response to, Jordan. So, LeBron always had guys like, Drew Gooden and Zydrunas Ilgauskas and those guys around him that were big and kind of enforcers. So, but, I peak basketball at its finest. There was nothing that got me more hyped than watching those highlights.
Yeah, and shout out to Sophie for being a good teammate, because again, that is just what this is. She we all kind of knew who she was, just because Caitlin Clark really brought the stardom to Indiana, so it brought a lot of eyes on it. But now she's on another level. Everyone knows who Sophie Cunningham is. She gained, it was like some weird stat, or like on TikTok or something. She gained like 800,000 followers like overnight.
Yeah, she's up. I believe if I look, she's up to over almost 1 million.
Yeah, so good for her. Pretty hot too. So
yeah, she jumped.
That helps too.
Up to over
Get
1 million in followers. So literally from. So yeah, June 17th. As of June 17th, she had 300,000. As of today, she is up to 1.1 million.
There you go. That's what happens when you're a good teammate.
So again, peak basketball, love it. You couldn't have wrote that any better for me. So loved all that.